This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting and brought to you by Boohoo Man. I'm joined by BJ Flores over Zoom, all the way from his Arizona home. I haven't just doxed you there, have I? People know you live in Arizona.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's no problem.
How are you? How is life? Looking good?
I'm good. Everything's great. Yeah, beautiful day out here in Scottsdale, Arizona. The weather is nice. This is why we us Arizonans live in Arizona for this time of year because the weather's incredible. Obviously, the summer's a little rough, but it we forget about it when these winter months and the spring months, so it's nice.
No, looking pretty good indeed. We'll just go straight into it
Thanks.
today. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. You obviously used to train Jake Paul. If you were
hmm
training Jake Paul still, would you have taken this fight?
Um, I mean, it's a tough question to answer. It's on paper, it looks like a very, very tough fight, and to anybody in the industry, Anthony Joshua is a world champion, a gold medalist. This is a big difference from anybody else that Jake's fought in the past. But he's looking for these big challenges. He wants to fight the toughest guys, and I think with Anthony Joshua, he got exactly that. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a guy I would have never dreamed in a million years Jake would have fought him in his fifth year boxing in a fight situation like this. I thought he would have given it a little more time, but I mean, this is an extremely difficult fight. Anthony Joshua is 6'6", 245 pounds, extremely dangerous, gold medalist, world champion, and I think this is a very, very difficult fight for Jake. So I wouldn't have made this fight. No.
What do you give it in terms of percentage wise? Like 60% AG wins, 40% Jake Paul wins, or 50-50, 70-30? How do you give it?
Well, I mean, you got to go up when you go off the resumes. That's what I go off of. A lot of people will say potential, like oh, this could happen, this could happen. I only go off like who's beating who. So if you look at it on paper, it doesn't look like Jake has any chance on paper. But I think that's probably why he wanted to make this fight. And like I said, I'm not in the camp, so I don't know all the conversations that are going on in camp Jake Paul right now. But on paper, this looks like an extremely difficult fight. And any boxing experts that I've talked to, whether it's former fighters or whoever, just they don't give Jake any chance at all. I'm not saying he doesn't have any chance. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that everybody in the know-how as far as the boxing world, they're like Jake has zero chance to win this fight. And it is on paper though. It does seem like it's early, and it does seem like it's premature in my opinion.
So what are you giving it then? A 90-10?
uh, you know, like AJ's had, I don't know, probably I want to say 13 or 14 or 15 world title fights, and it's tough to go directly into a fight. As the cruiserweight with the heavyweight, with the man who's had 14 or 15 world title fights, when you haven't had any world title fights. So the opposition is just a massive step, but there's always a puncher's chance. You always got that, but the chance of winning a fight like this on the experience level with a guy like Anthony Joshua, it just seems like it's going to be an uphill battle.
So 90-10 or 95-5 is what you're going for.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to put a number on it. I'm just going to say that it's a massive jump up in experience, a massive jump up in size. Jake's only got 13 fights, which is still very, very green. He's improved. He's gotten a lot better, of course. What I don't understand for the life of me is how do you go from, Gervonta? Okay, we're not going to fight Gervonta now. 2 weeks before the fight, we're not going to fight him, but next month now we're going to fight Anthony Joshua. It's just apples to oranges as far as opponents. Like it's not even close. And then trying to going to fighting Gervonta to AJ. I don't understand the logic of the opponent selection. But again, I'm not in the camp, so I don't know. But it just seems like a real uphill battle.
Are you going to go to the Jake Paul fight or the Andrew Tate fight? Since they're in the same
I'm actually
week.
going to be. I would love to go to Jake's fight. I go to all Jake's fights. Win, lose or draw. Like I got his back. Doesn't. I would love to be there, but I'm going to be in Dubai for the Misfits event, and I'm not going to be able to go. So I got a work commitment. So I got to be make sure I'm there for that.
Okay, well, we'll watch the fight. I'm sure everyone will be finding a TV to watch it on. Is that the biggest part
Oh
of
yeah.
the Jake Paul and AJ? The biggest fight of 2025?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, on paper, I think it's got to be. It's one of those fights where every AJ is a star. Like I love AJ. He's a great fighter, and Jake obviously has a lot of fans, people that love him, people that hate him, but people tune in when he fights, and that's he moves the needle, and that's the main thing. So I think AJ, like I said, AJ is one of my favorite fighters. I love watching him. I love his personality. People that call him punchy. I don't think losing to Daniel Dubois, losing to Usyk and losing to Andy Garcia, I don't think that means you're punchy. I think that means he's fought the best fighters, the best heavyweights over the last 15 years, and he's fallen short, of course. But he's a very, 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 he's a very big man. He's got that Olympic pedigree, and that makes the fight against him very difficult.
It does indeed, does indeed. What do you think is the upside? There's always an upside for this fight against Jake. I guess coming for if I play sort of the viewer's perspective, what people are saying on Twitter, they're saying it's a win-win for Jake. You fight
Yeah,
a two-time former heavyweight world champion in Anthony Joshua. If you get knocked out, it's no big deal. And if you lose, yeah, if you get knocked out, you get the respect of the public as well for taking the fight. If you win, you're the king, you know?
yeah. The upside is I don't know. Like everyone's like, oh, I respect Jake. I'm just like, it's just crazy that you would have to fight, a former world heavyweight champion, 6'6", 240-pound gold medalist. That's the only way you get people's respect. Like there's a lot of other ways. Like, and if you don't get everybody's respect, those people just don't really understand boxing. Like I said, I feel like this fight is a little early for Jake. Obviously, I would like to see him fight one heavyweight before this fight happened, at least one heavyweight, and then maybe see him, be in there with B, a guy world rated, in any weight, cruiserweight, heavyweight, anything before you go in with a guy like Anthony Joshua. It's just a massive difference on the size and the power and everything. But I guess, if the objective is to make people talk and make people say, "Oh man, he's crazy," then he's getting exactly that. He's getting what he wants. So to me, it doesn't make sense. This fight doesn't make sense to me at all. But I think it would be there down the road. I'd much rather see like a Canelo fight than an AJ fight. It's just, as far as power and just ability to do damage, it's apples to oranges. Like there's all of boxing and then there's heavyweight boxing. And they're very different. I fought in the cruiserweight division and the heavyweight division, and there's a massive difference between the top heavyweights and the top cruiserweights. It's a big difference.
If Jake Paul does get knocked out by Anthony Joshua, does that take sort of the shine away from him? Because a lot of people watch his fights to see him lose. Once everyone's seen him lose, or if he does lose, will
Yeah.
people not be
I
as
don't I,
confident in him anymore?
I don't know. I don't think anybody can fault him if he loses. I don't think anybody expects him to win,
But what I'm saying
so
is, though, people already watch his fights because I guess, plays a bad guy, plays a villain role.
right,
Will
right, right.
people then still tune in after he's been knocked out since he gets knocked out? I know that he lost to me Fury, but that was sort of
Yeah.
a split decision, right? If he does get
Yeah.
ironed out, will that sort of take the shine away from him in terms of people tuning in just to see him get KO'd?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I think he's got that star power where he's always going to draw people in to watch. And originally, when they announced the Anthony Joshua fight, I was hoping that it was just something to like, distract everybody. Oh, he's going to fight Joshua so that Tommy Fury would come to the negotiating table and be more realistic. Because I would like to see Jake get the rematch with Tommy. Is what I would like. But I think Tommy's been, very forthright on what he thinks he deserves and what he thinks he's worth, even though he hasn't really fought anybody besides KSI a little over 2 years ago. So in terms of worth, I was hoping that was what the plan was. Oh, we're going to fight Anthony Joshua. Oh, okay. Now Tommy Fury wants to be more reasonable on the negotiation part. And that's what I was hoping was going to happen, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
Maybe in the future. Let's try this then. Moving on from Jake Paul, HS Tiki Toki is out of prison.
Yeah.
It was nearly a year ago, coming up to nearly a year ago, which is when
Yeah.
Wade faced off of HS Tiki Toki. Have you spoken to Mams? Have you spoken to anyone about making that fight happen now?
No, I just think he's probably got to get his situation, figured out. It's good for him to go in there, pay his dues, whatever he's got to do to back to society and do what he's got to do so he doesn't have to feel like he's got to run or do anything or go anywhere. Now he can start clean and he can get going again and work on his career and focus. And I think and I hope he's going to be more focused now and he'll be able to, get going and get back in the ring. That'd be nice to see him. But so far, like I said, he hasn't been able to do that at all. So get focused, get in a training camp, and then get in there and show what he can do. Because so far it's still like a blank slate.
Will Wade fight this year?
This year, I don't think so. No, we
So you're
talked about it, but the
looking at early
the
early
divide
next year
card's going to be
then.
a little complicated. So
Early next year?
I hope so. We'll see what opportunities. It's got to be the right fit for Wade because Wade's got a busy schedule and he's got a lot of commitments. So it's got to be the right fit for Wade. So it can't just be anybody Wade's going to fight. It's got to make sense and it's got to look good. And Mams has got to like it. Otherwise, we all got to like it. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense for him to do it. He's got too many other good things going on.
So what fights do you
But he's
like?
down for HS. He's totally down. He'll fight HS.
What fights do you like then?
We liked Aaron the Plumber. He didn't want to fight, and now Aaron the Plumber's not going to do any fights. So we accepted that. We accepted HS. We accepted another guy named Tarzan who said he would fight Wade, and then he didn't want to fight Wade either. So we've accepted everybody they've offered, and that doesn't mean I will accept everybody. That just means that so far who they've offered, we've accepted them all, and Wade's accepted them all. So it's not that complicated, you know. We get the right guy, we get the right matchup, which Mams is a master at creating those matchups and those intriguing names. So whoever he comes at us with, we'll look at it, take a peek, and if it makes sense, we'll do it.
Have you spoken to the new CEO, Andrew Tate, yet?
No, I haven't. But I love the back and forth play, and I think it's great. Andrew is going to be a great addition to Misfits, and it's exciting to have someone like with his personality and his charisma is one of the, honestly one of the wittiest, sharpest guys. Like when you catch him live on camera, everyone always tries to crisscross him and tongue tie him, and nobody can ever do it. So it's going to be good to have someone like Andrew, behind the scenes doing stuff, and I'm looking forward to his fight. I think the fight's going to be a lot better than people think. People are writing Chase off, but Chase is 6'5". He's a puncher. He can definitely. He's got some experience. He's fought way more than Andrew in the last 2 years. Even though people keep showing the clips of Chase when he fought Josh Bruckner, like that's not Chase anymore. Chase is a completely different guy, and they're underestimating Chase. I think Chase is a very live dog in this fight, and Andrew, he's got to be careful early because Chase can punch.
No, Chase can punch indeed, and he's a lot bigger
Oh,
than.
he can, yeah.
Well,
No, he can. He can punch. So you got to watch out for that right hand and some of those jabs, and it's a situation where if Andrew's a little rusty and Andrew's not used to, I see Andrew sparring a lot, but I see him sparring smaller guys that don't really know how to fight. And I don't know if that's going to get him ready for Chase. So I'd like to see Andrew, and maybe he's just not showing us anything, but all the sparring I see Andrew doing is like with smaller guys who don't know how to box. And I just don't know how much that's going to help him against Chase.
I asked about that because I've seen the same thing too. And I asked the coach, and apparently he is sparring bigger
Yeah,
guys. They just don't post
good.
it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
mean
there's gonna be enough
he
not
better he
small
better
guys.
Fred.
But
He needs to because Chase is you get in there with the 6'5" guy when you've been sparring guys who don't know how to box. It's completely different.
no, it's completely different indeed. Yeah, I would assume they would know enough to spar guys the same as Chase or
Yeah,
lookalikes to Chase.
yeah.
Any fights? The undercard's been announced. Any fights that stick out to you on the undercard?
A lot of fights on the undercard. Let's go over the undercard really quick. You talk to me about it.
All right, Dean versus
Carla Jade, Killer
Varg.
B. That's going to be a hell of a fight. Carla's been getting a lot better. She's been improving. Dean the Great and Amato. I mean, this is a massive step up for Dean. It's big. Like Amato's got pro experience. He's fought pro guys, and he hasn't really made a mark in the pros yet. But he's a decent prospect coming up.
Do you have any
You know,
amateur
I'm
fights, Amada, Vargas
I
brother?
don't think so. I don't think so. I'm really big on Emiliano. I'm really big on him, the youngest brother, Amato and Fernando Jr. I don't know if they had this. I don't think they had the same amateur experience. They're tough kids, though. Very tough kids. I mean, when you grow up in the Vargas household, you're going to grow up tough. But Emiliano, I'm really big on him. But even at that, Amato's a massive step up for Dean. So you got to give credit to both guys. Amato obviously wants to fight. Dean wants to fight. It's got people excited. And then you got Niaj Garat against Slim on the card as well. I think Garat's a little tougher than Slim thinks. I think it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's exciting fight. And then what else do we got on the undercard?
You've also got Dylan Dennis versus Anthony Taylor, or not the
Yep.
rematch, but almost the rematch of their street fight from all those years ago.
I missed a call from AT this morning. I'm going to call him back after this interview. You just reminded me, but I think obviously you don't want to get on the ground with Dylan, but when you add the striking element, that gives AT a different advantage. I think AT would beat Dylan in a boxing match, but obviously when they're doing the combination of the duel, AT's got to be very careful.
Indeed, indeed. That's an MMA fight. So that's almost my
Yep.
apart from the Tate one. That's always my favorite fight on the card. 80 and Dylan Dennis
Yeah,
in
it's going to be
MMA.
a good one. What else is on the undercard? What else? There's a couple other ones I thought.
No, that's it. That's it. I think as of right now, I know. I think
Yeah.
this interview will take a couple of days to go out, but yeah. As of right now, it's what's been announced. Before I let you go though, anything of your guys on your team coming up?
Yeah, Tristan is going to fight December 13th in LA on the
Okay.
Badu Jack Noel McKellian card. He's going to be a featured bout. He's good friends with Noel McKellian. They're going to put him on that card. It's going to be a real pro fight December 13th, so watch out. And then after that, he's looking forward to coming back and whatever happens with his AT fight, he wants to fight AT next, early next year in the boxing ring at 175 pounds for the title. So we're going to go out and get a win right now. And then after that, he really wants AT. And Josh is kind of sitting in the background, kind of waiting to see what happens. Josh will fight anybody. He doesn't care. He's not, he would do the tournament or whatever else comes up. He does not care at all. He'd fight whoever. And Wade's down too. Wade's just got a busy schedule with everything going on. But um, I do have a little bit of an announcement actually that I was going to say on Twitter the other day that I didn't say. I'm going to be working exclusively with number two WBC cruiserweight Ryan Rozicki for the next 2 years. And I'm excited about that because he's been on the verge of fighting for a world title for a long time. And now we're going to get that and we're going to push him over the line to where he gets that opportunity, get him a fight or two on TV, and then get him under that WBC world title fight. And it's going to be exciting. So we kind of like locked everything down on that over the last couple of days. And I'm looking forward to working with Ryan and his team. And it's going to be an exciting time and in boxing and an exciting time for us over Misfits.
So you training him or managing him? What's your involvement with him?
I'm managing him, and then we're going to be doing. He's coming in town in a week and a half, 2 weeks, and we're going to do some training. We'll do a little trial run and see how it goes. But I like his style. He's a tremendous puncher. He's 20-1 with 19 knockouts. He's got the highest KO percentage in cruiserweight boxing, almost in professional boxing for the level he's at. He's pretty much knocked out everybody he's faced. He's a massive puncher, and he's got an incredible chin. He's knocked out heavyweights. He's knocked out all kinds of guys, and it's just he's an exciting fighter. So we're looking forward to putting the finishing touches on Ryan and getting him in situations where he can, really build his brand up a little bit and get some big wins this year in 2026.
Oh wow, pretty good. You're a busy man
Yeah,
nowadays. You're hard to get hold
it's
of.
exciting.
Always managing people, managing, training. You stay busy.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And then Jordan Guinness is going to probably most likely fight on that card with Tristan December 13th. And if he doesn't fight on that one, he's going to fight December 5th in Memphis, Tennessee. So everybody's staying busy. Great end of the year. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Dubai card. It's going to be great. Like so much work goes into these cards. And I want to talk about the last card really quick. The
Yeah, I
matchmaking
just remembered. Yeah, that's a good point. The
and the
Fox
fights on
Genie,
the
new
last
champ.
card. Rivas and Jahan Ingram was a hell of a fight. Just a great, great, great situation. We got Ashton Silva on the team now. I believe this kid's going to be a two-time world champion. He's a tremendous, tremendous counterpuncher. He's got incredible eyes. You saw him ringside, Fred. Have you ever seen anything like that ringside? Someone who's just so quick to counter, has got such great reflexes. Have you seen anything like that at Misfits?
That was very impressive to see.
Yeah, I've never seen I haven't seen eyes and reflexes like that from Misfits fighters yet. And it's great to have Ashton Silva on the team. And Jahan had a great win over Rivas, and he's excited to get back out there. And Amir Cashman Anderson, we're going to keep stepping him up because every time we try to step him up, he gets the guy out of there, and he keeps asking for bigger challenges. And we're going to give him to him. He's only 21. We're trying to build him up the right way. So, but I love his charisma and his personality, and he wants to take on all comers.
It looks like he's fighting Joe Laws next
Yeah.
in the new year, so or this year. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on with him.
What do you think about Joe Laws, Fred?
Well, he's quite well known over here in the UK. Sort of like English level boxer. So
Yeah.
he knows his stuff,
Yeah.
and he's well
Think he's
known
bitten
as
off a
well.
little more than
He's very well
has he
known.
bitten off a little more than he can chew though, Fred?
Well, he's definitely the underdog, but he did
Yeah.
fight one of the McKenna boys, brothers. There's a couple of Irish brothers over here doing very well in the pro scene. I think he fought. I can't remember. I think he fought Stevie McKenna, and he dropped Steve McKenna quite recently
Yeah.
when they fought.
Yeah.
So he can punch, and anyone who can punch is dangerous.
There's another McKenna brother I'm pretty impressed with. He's like a one, forget what his name is, but he's really good. Not Steve, it was a different one. He fought on a Riyadh card maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and I was really impressed with him. He looked great.
Yeah, so it's Stephen McKenna. I actually
Yeah.
interviewed him years ago. Yeah, and he fought Joe Laws, and then
Okay.
there's
Is it
it's
Aaron McKenna, I want to
it's
say?
Aaron McKenna. Yes.
Yes, that's the one who I saw who I really like. That kid could fight. But anyways, I'm looking forward to Amir Anderson and Joe Laws. I like Joe's personality. He's coming in. He's got a lot more experience than Amir, but I think, like I said, we really believe in Amir. We think Amir's got the goods, and he's a very sharp boxer in there, very high boxing IQ, and he's just getting started. He's only 21 years old, so we got big plans for him.
He's my age. That's kind of quite
Yeah,
crazy. Wow, he's doing pretty damn good. He is really good.
and he's got a lot of experience in the amateurs already, so he's already crossed a lot of those T's and dotted a lot of those I's. And now we just got to do it in the pro ring, and he's excited to do it. And he'll literally fight anybody we tell him to. He does not care. He is the can man. Anybody
He
can
makes your
get
life
it.
a lot
100.
easier. Makes your life a way
I
easier.
mean, yeah, I mean, and it's really hard to match him. Nobody wants to fight him. So we like going for the last fight. I mean, this kid is really hard to match, and that's a good sign for us. It's fun.
Certainly. Well, it sounds like all good. down your end, BJ. Well, I appreciate you hopping on the
Yeah,
Zoom. And yeah, I'll see
of
you
course.
in Dubai in a few weeks. Not long left.
Yes, sir. See you, Fred. Thanks, and we'll talk soon. Have a great one.